Wagwan people, welcome to Well Past Podcast. I'm Denzel, and we don't have the Rika here with us today. But this is a show where we talk about wealth, everything wealth, military. You know the deal. Tonight, here at my daddy. Yeah. Just a reason. We just a chill and talk, So yeah, we have him here for a couple of days. So, just say we do a podcast. Just talk. You ready?
Yeah, man, long time.
Anybody on YouTube that's watching us, you can see Arsenal, Gunners. Yeah, we're Arsenal fans, So yeah, let's get ready for start.
Yeah, man.
You ready?
Yeah, man, let's kick it.
Come to the mic, I'll put
Let's
the mic
kick
in.
it.
All right. All right, so Daddy. Who is Daddy? Like
Oh. Oh, should I say this now?
anyway you want to put it.
A very fun-loving, jovial person. One who believes in family and the whole commitment to life itself and enjoy it as much as I can.
All right. So, for instance, you talk about family, right? What the importance of family to you, especially as a father?
I think as a father, I think being there for your kids, providing for them, make sure they're taken care of in every year of their life, not just to institute your belief or force it on them, but let them be independent and know what life is about.
And I can see that because that's what you did with us, like David and I, who choose not to come. She's shy, but I can see that because that's where, like, with us, like with our dreams and aspirations, you never really force anything on us. You kind of just let us be who we want to be. Whatever we love, or all those stuff, you supported us, and we thank you for that. But even as I said, being a father, like you grew up without a father, like like explain that, like how was that?
I think that's a very more emotional topic because believe me, I remember my father left us, like it was three of us at the time when I was 4 years old. He was there, but all of a sudden he just disappeared. Because I remember there was an old bus that is called Field Marshal used to travel from Kingston and basically go around Jamaica. So even when he wasn't there at times, he would send down supplies for us and that bus. So in part, we were taken care of until then. Finally went to Kingston, started a new family. So he just basically forgot about us.
Wow.
Yeah, so I decided from early that whenever I do get any kid or kids, I'll be there in their life. I won't repeat the mistake that he made. So that's why I've always been there for you guys and trying to make sure you guys are taken care of in every area.
No, we love you for that. And I mean, I know it's a touchy topic, but there's a funny story to it too. Your dad actually forgot that he had a son named David, and he named the second one David.
Yep. Not just my elder brother and my brother by my father's side. He has my bigger brother's middle name. So he actually created a whole new family with the same names that he left in Hanover when he went to Kingston to start a new family.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Because Marcia's name is Elaine. One of my sisters in Canada is Elaine also.
Wow.
So he just created a whole new family.
Wow. And that's the thing, like I never really knew that. I only hear the story like it's like him forgot that him have a son named David. That's what I heard. But I never knew that.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, that's a lot right there. That's a lot. I mean, so you grew up basically with a single mom.
Yep.
Like how many kids?
When my dad left, it was like three of us. My mom have a total of 8 of us. Last two sisters made their souls rest in peace, Marcia and Carol.
Yep.
Love them to the bone, but only God knows best,
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I know. I don't even want to touch on that too much because I know that's like, get very emotional. So we're gonna move on from that. Like, all right, so you grew up with, like, as you said, single mom. And after the three of you guys, what happened? Like, who started to come in? Like, I know, like, for instance, grandpa gone. You say like what, eight siblings?
Yeah. We have from my mother. There are 7 other siblings, a total of 8 of us. So with the 3 from my dad, there's total of 11. But my mom took care of 8 of us. There was like only Claudette, whose father was there, Hortense and Keith, There are the three younger ones. Their dad was there, but for the rest, the other five,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep, it
Yeah, because
was.
I remember, because I mean, growing up, I remember when I used to say Papa. I thought Papa was my grandfather at the
Yeah,
time, and then I, started to learn that almost every one of you guys have different,
yeah,
different
yeah.
father, But yeah, I
But
mean,
he has been there the longest of all. So basically,
yeah,
we
that's
call
that's
him
who I look
Papa
up
and
to.
all
That's
of
who I
that.
look up to
So
as a grandfather.
even now, I try my best to make sure they're taken care
Yeah,
of, not
yeah,
just
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
but my mom and him, because he's the only father
That you know.
that actually stood around. So
And,
you
we
know,
thank him for that still, because I didn't miss a Dudley. Big up yourself, Mr. Dudley. But yeah, like Papa, I remember like Papa telling us stories like, I think I remember the time when he was coming from Freedom Street. And Freedom, we soon get into that, people. We tell you where Freedom Street is, but he's saying coming from Freedom Street, and it was like what, late in the night, and him saying walk past standpipe. Walk past the standpipe, and him hear an eyes up in the tree, and then turn on and him look, and him looking at the tree, him see a red eye, and the red eye just hear a voice say run. And he run come up at the house and throw what you call it,
no, this
white rum,
white rum,
white rum, and I think it
yeah,
was onion or garlic or something like that, saying it was a
yeah.
duppy. Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories with him. But yeah, I really thought he was my granddad when I was younger. But hey,
Because even now, people still who doesn't know still think he's our father.
father, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
You know?
because Mr. Dudley played that role, It's a key, So growing up, which part? Like, I know it's Hanover, but there were
Yeah.
certain different parts.
Yeah, I was born in a rural area down West Hanover that is called Grange, Pell River. Moved to Mosquito Cove, which is like a few miles out of Sandy Bay at a very tender age. Maybe I was like, maybe not even one yet. If I can't remember because I was too young then, but I can remember from about 4 years old living in Mosquito Cove. Then we move into another area further closer to Jericho, they call the retirement. Then from there we move into Sandy Bay when I was like about 5 or so.
Okay.
So my Sandy Bay has been basically the place where I was born, not literally, but that's where life started for me until my adult age. When I then moved into Montego Bay about 1997.
Yeah. I was born in 91. Yeah, but like, so in Sandy Bay, I know you have like a couple friends that are who I can call uncle. Like what was that like? Otherwise, from your siblings, because I know you're always around them ever since I grew up.
Sandy Bay was back then was pretty more like say family oriented, even though you might not be biologically related, but growing up, the guys that I grew up with, even the older folks, you were expected to respect them. You wouldn't be able to pass certain persons in the community and
true.
not say how they are.
True.
Good morning, good evening, or else your parents would be hearing about it, and sometimes you do get a spanking.
Yeah, true. True. I know, like when I used to be in Sandy Bay, and like everybody know you. That's like so people Sandy Bay, Hanover is like a small town. A little small town. And if you know Jamaicans, back in those days we were like really, really close knit family. But the thing is that everybody know your business,
Yeah, that's Sandy Bay.
That's Sandy Bay, Everybody know your business. But like growing up in Sandy Bay, like that really felt like home to me, even though I was really born and raised in Montego Bay. I was kind of like still back and forth. Like I used to stay in Sandy Bay for like throughout the weeks to go to school, and then come to Montego Bay for the weekends. But Sandy Bay was really like home to me at first, and I knew I would be walking on the street and everybody would be like, Tia. That's my pet name, nickname. So everybody was like, Tia, where's Skinny? His name is Skinny. So every time everybody see me now and I don't even know them, they know him because he was like really popular. And what really made you popular back in Sandy Bay?
Playing football and then DJ. Yeah, high school. Yeah,
Which was singing at
Lollipop all over and over. Ghetto Force, Forest Man, Electro Force. Yeah, you name all the sound systems. Mama wrote all the sound system that were around at that time. Yeah, I had to go on the stage and perform and do all of those things. regular concerts and stuff at Lollipop. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there.
Lollipop was the
Yeah, that
big
was the
thing
place to be back then.
back
Yep.
then, yeah. Yeah, because I know growing up, I hear Lollipop all the time. You know, you always have shows and stuff. So, like, for instance, like, I don't know if us really coming from a strong musical background.
Surprisingly, because we don't actually know of them.
I only know one.
Yeah, but even the guys and the relatives in England, they are into music. Eric Donaldson is a distant cousin of mine,
Yeah.
based on what my mom's recollection has said. So there has been music. Because even before I started DJing and a sound system, I had a granduncle, Papa Clement, may his soul rest in peace. They were playing sound system at Mosquito Cove as a kid. I would go around and hang out, even though I was too young to say grab a mic, because there wasn't much DJing at the time. But the sound systems were playing back then, some old tube amps. Once they get warm, you'll get some bass line thumping from those tube amps. So musical influence was quite early. So I've always liked to listen to music and singing along. So it became natural to me.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, as you said, like you were scared to grab a mic at that time.
Yeah.
See, I had more courage than you, though.
Yeah.
You know? I think I was like probably around 6 or 8.
Maybe even younger.
Yeah, I think, I remember I was in Mount Salem
Yeah.
at the time with what's her name, mommy best friend at the time,
No, it was Miss Angie. It was with Janet.
Janet.
Yeah.
That's Janet, and we were having a party, and
No, it was a week, actually.
it was a week.
Yeah, man.
I thought it was like an opening for your restaurant. Did that?
No, it was a week for the man. What they call the man, Mr. Simit. That man, may his soul rest in peace.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, man. The lady, you married to this lady named Miss Hanji, that your grandmother used to work for. Yeah, so that's how we were at Salem at that night for that week. So that's when you got the mic and you weren't even, you couldn't even speak properly at the time.
I was singing that song by General B. Traffic Blocking. Traffic Blocking. I was singing that. But I think your love of music, it came to me, even though I never knew you loved music that much. Because when I was younger, I was listening to Luciano, Beanie Man, Bunty, you didn't, Buju Banton, I know them songs.
Till Shiloh, yep.
Winnie Wonder, I know the whole Boomshell album. You used to cuss me and say, yo, stop scratch up your CD. I promise you, I'm going to get you back. I promise you, I'm going to get it back. But I remember one time, I knew music so much. I knew music more than my actual book. People, to tell you the honest truth, I remember one time, I don't remember what age I was, but I remember one time I was sitting on the bed and you said to me, I need to know my ABCs for tomorrow class. And you tell me to start some ABC, and I remember saying A, B, C, D. And you said, what come after D? And honestly, I didn't even remember what come after D. I only said E, and you said, yes, what come after E? I was like, oh yeah, all right, no, everything, you know. That's one thing I will never forget.
I remember when you got your first bicycle.
Yeah.
When you came up, you were actually in school at Sandy Bay at the time, and you came up for the weekend, because I usually come down for you on the weekend and take you up. And you said you wanted a bicycle, and I said to you, okay, if next weekend when you come back you can spell bicycle, you will get it. And when you came back, you were actually able to spell bicycle. So I did not disappoint you. I got you that bicycle.
One thing you never disappoint. And I mean, I can speak for me and David that you never tell us no. No matter what we ask for, you never tell us no. You always be like, all right, we'll see what we can do. Yes, I mean, never tell us no. And even with the bicycle story, that was the first bicycle you bought at Courts.
Yeah.
You remember how I got the second bicycle?
No, I don't think I recall.
So we were walking right at Gully where the soup man used to be. With Soupy.
Yeah.
At Gully, Montego Bay people. And but there was a restaurant, I think it was a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And you said to me, I told you that I wanted a second bicycle because I was getting older now. And you said to me, if I can spell the word restaurant, I can get it. You didn't give me a time frame. You just let me say if I can spell the word restaurant,
Yeah.
and I tell you, yeah, I can spell it right now. And I literally look at the word. I literally look at the word, and then I turn. You were in front of me. I was right here, and
Yeah.
like I know once I could spell at least resta. I
Yeah.
could spell the rant, and then I spelled that, and then I think it was. I don't think it was the next week or so. I would say in less than 3 weeks I got that bicycle.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. I remember some of those moments, and I remember like how excited you and mommy got when you tell me like when you said we were getting a house in Conway Courts.
Yeah.
Like how did that feel like to know say yo you have your own place for your family now?
Yeah, boy, it was a real surreal feeling at that time. Knowing that my mom struggled before we actually moved into a house to say we had our individual rooms.
Yeah.
So for me to actually get a house at that age, it was only you at the time, not David. I wasn't in the picture yet. And to say, yeah, I have somewhere where I can actually lay my head, I can call my own, and something that my kids or would actually look forward to say, yes, Daddy left this for me. It was a real surreal feeling.
Yeah. I remember the moment. I remember the moment with you and mommy. You hug up and y'all talk about the plans that you guys had for the house. I mean, Lati was there. Lati is my cousin. She was there at the time. Me and Lati were like this, like sisters and brothers. And I remember like when we have the house and we look in the house and everything, we were fighting and be like, hey, let's see who get to use the toilet first. So I remember that moment. But yeah, I remember like that was, I don't know, like really, really a happy time for me because like, we got to be this new place, new housing scheme, all that. And then I didn't have my room at the time. But going into
just
a new
made
place.
it comfortable.
Yeah. And moving in Kawa Courts at that time, we only had one taxi driver.
Yeah.
No light.
Nope.
No light. And that was what, 1999?
No, we got the house 98. Yeah, 1999 March. We moved
I remember
into
that.
it, yeah.
And Tony was there, Uncle Tony was there, which is Davida's godfather.
Yeah, because remember, when we got lights, that's electricity, folks. Other persons behind us, they didn't have electricity, so we offered them connection from our house to their house, so they could actually have power at the time.
And we used to be at Sun Valley at the time.
Yeah, we lived in Sun Valley briefly for a few months, and when we actually got the house in Cornwall Court, we moved to Cornwall Court.
Yeah, Sun Valley. I remember Sun Valley being. We were right at Glendivan, we were right at Norwood, like a really, really terrible place.
Right.
But I was comfortable here. I remember like you used to work and said it like people tell you like really I was happy kid. Daddy is always there. Mommy is always there. I really give thanks for that because like I remember lunchtime. Sometimes I used to be like, I want KFC and you would travel all the way from Freeport.
For the Freeport, yep.
I remember that you bring me to the circus. We used to go to I don't remember that place that was around KFC where they used to have the DVDs, the VCR. At the time,
yeah.
What
they called? I don't remember the name of that place. That's where you had to rent DVDs back in the days.
Yeah, not DVD, VCRs.
Yep.
So I remember like what Lion King. Like I used to. That was the first place I watched Lion King. Yeah, I remember some fun times.
Yeah.
So all right. So back to San Debino. Growing up, high school. Like, what high school did you go to?
High school was Seas High School, up from 1979 to 1982. Yep, that's my alma mater and still my favorite school.
Favorite school.
Of all, yeah.
And most of our family members in that era went to that era, so went to that school. So you played, like I remember, I think you played soccer, right?
Yeah, but
football for us, but
unfortunately I didn't get to play in the DaCosta Cup because my mom was so poor at the time that she couldn't even afford those football boots and stuff. And then because there was such a lack of transportation when it gets to certain time in Lucy in Hanover, when you get to 6 o'clock, it's quite difficult for you to get from Lucy to Sandy Bay or anywhere else around. So when I started, I was doing real good. I remember one time one of the teachers took me to the vice principal, Mr. Colin Miller, may his soul rest in peace, and said, this guy, you need to have this guy playing football for us. But my mom said no. You're coming home too
Yeah,
late.
yeah. And there wasn't a lot of vehicles at that time, right?
No, because I've actually walked from Lucy
Wow.
into Sandy Bay a
That
few
was-
times.
How long is that?
A few hours it took us. Yeah, but I did it more than once.
Whoa.
But it was a bunch of us at most of the time, maybe like 5 of us. I can remember Howard Patterson, Sidney Norman, a guy by the name of Evan Atkinson, and a guy Donald Findlay, some Boogarugo May Soul, rest in
Booga. I
peace.
haven't heard that name before.
Yeah.
Booga. So that's a lot. No, I walk for a couple hours. That's a lot from Sandy Bay to Lucy.
Yeah.
I know we're traveling by car. It's like what 20 minutes or
Basically half
less.
an hour, yeah.
Yeah, that's no man.
And imagine the road is the distance is shorter now.
Yeah. But back then it was.
Yeah, it was a lot of curves, and you wouldn't be able to walk to certain places you are walking now because the road is there. So you'd have to walk. Say you follow the seaside, the coast from Lucy into Sandy Bay. The road was all along the coast. Yeah, so it was much longer.
Yeah, because
then.
that's long, man. That's what they dedicated. You love the sport.
Yeah, but it was fun because it was a bunch of us. So with the sugar cane plantations being along the roadside, sometimes we would stop and grab some sugar cane. So it made the walk more fun.
So I remember, like, I know with you, like Uncle Peter, Uncle Larry. So I remember this one time. I don't know if you remember. So I know every weekend we used to go, when we live in Montego Bay, we used to go to Sandy Bay almost every weekend. So I remember this one weekend, I know you got paycheck, you got paid. And you were like, hey, come on, we're going to Sandy Bay. And you know me, I always get excited because I was the only child and I had my cousins there. So I remember we going to Sandy Bay and we got to Sandy Bay and we sat at Aunt Valerie restaurant for the whole night. You know, Aunt Valerie, you know, she always makes sure somebody eat, have food and all those stuff. And you sat and I was like, yo, I'm ready to go home. And you were like, we're soon going. That soon turned into like what, 7 hours?
Yeah, it's usually into hours.
Because I know when you guys just, you know, meet up, trust me, it's gonna be a whole day thing.
Yep.
You remember that night. I don't hopefully you're not embarrassed by this story.
Yeah.
But it's a funny story for me, and I always remember you got drunk. Like you really got drunk. And they had to call mama to come and get you. No, you're not a drinker.
Yeah, but
That's why you got drunk, yeah?
Yeah. But occasionally, I'll imbibe when I meet the friends.
All right, you got drunk, and I don't think you remember really what happened.
I think I remember parts of it, but
So when when mama come to pick you up, right?
yeah,
Me and mama carry you up, and we're walking up the hill, right beside the cemetery. You know what you did?
right.
You went over to the cemetery. You sat at a grave. I said, "Well, go on, you good?"
I don't know who I was talking to then, but apparently there was someone.
Yeah, that's what you said. Let me imagine me. I think I wasn't so scared because I got used to walking to that place.
Yeah,
almost
that
every
was a
night.
shortcut for us. you know?
Yeah. So I got used to walking to that place. I wasn't really scared. But like the next morning, you said to me like you had a hangover. You never call it a hangover, but then you just say your head was hurting, which is a hangover after that whole thing. And you said to me, hey, check in my pocket. I have like what, $1,000 or something like that. Take it and go buy a pill. Like I think it was a Panadol or something like that. And I look in your pocket, it was only $20. You spent out the whole paycheck and I told you like, hey, sorry when you go up to mommy and you tell mommy say you don't have no money. But yeah, you and Peter and Larry and
But you know what's funny about that? I didn't go home without money.
yeah, you never go home without money. I know that.
Yeah, but I didn't go home without money, you know. But because what I do when I get my pay, I say I put up part what I need for the house, and if I'm gonna hang with my friends, I know there's a portion set aside for that. So for money going home to the house, no, I've never gotten to the point where I said no, I can't. There's nothing to take home.
I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. And so All right, let's move forward now. I was the only child for
Yes,
10,
10
10,
years,
10
yeah. Yeah,
years.
because you and David is 10 years apart.
Davida came into the fictional like
Mm-hmm.
when you found out like mommy was pregnant, like
It was a shock. It was a real shock when she told me, oh, David, she's pregnant. I was taken aback so much that I actually left the house. Because I said, 10 years? Not another kid, it was just you. And then a new one. So I went to Sandy Bay for maybe for a few weeks. And then I came back. And we hadn't I don't think we had started working. Yeah, we had started working on the house then. So with her telling me that she was pregnant now, I knew I had to hurry up and try and get something in place so everyone could be comfortable. So that's when we actually push more pressure into getting the house work done to say accommodate her being pregnant. Because with the house being worked on at the time, she wasn't even able to stay there. She stayed by your grandmother most of the time.
yeah, I remember that. I remember
Yeah, until the house was basically more habitable. Because there was less dust at the time and all of that. 'Cause most of that work had been done. So it was a real
that.
shocker.
Yeah, shock. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember when she told me, and I was happy because I was like, yo, it's not gonna be me alone anymore.
Yeah.
But then she was like, what you want? I was like, a boy. I want a little brother. she looking at me. I wanted a little brother, and like when it was time for her, I know grandma was staying with us at one point after mommy came back to the house.
Yeah.
Grandma was staying out with us a lot, and then I remember I was going home and I was at this taxi stand and I saw grandma and I hugged her up and I was like, Grandma. And she was like, your mother have babies? So I was like, yeah. I was like, boy? She was like, no, a girl. I was still happy. You hear? You hear, David? I was still happy.
I think it was like, if memory serves me right, it was a Monday.
It was a Monday?
Yeah.
You sure it was a Monday or a
I said
Wednesday?
I think may have been a Wednesday, but I know when I went to the hospital, because remember Davida is premature and all of that. So she wasn't supposed to be born yet, but
At the
because
time,
your mother under high blood pressure at the time, they had to take her prematurely. So when I actually got to the hospital and went to the ward, they said your mother, was gone to the operation theater. They're gonna take the baby from her. So basically, within a few minutes or so, they came out with her. When I looked at her, because your mother did not take any clothes for her or anything.
Yeah.
So they wrapped her in some maybe it looked like an hospital gown or something that they actually had on her. And when I saw that, nope, I did not tarry. I just went straight to Cornwall Courts right away and got the suitcase for her so she could be in something that is, say, more for a baby than just something that they just pick up to put on her. She was what? When she came home, they had to take her back to the hospital because I was scared.
I remember because
I said I was overreacting, but
yeah, you were over. I remember.
She wasn't breathing. To me, she wasn't breathing properly.
I remember when Davida, she had a hiccup. And you were so scared. You were like, Tevali. You were like, Tevali. That's my mom name. Like, Tevali, come. We need to go to the hospital. No. And mommy would be like, hey, it's just a hiccup.
I wasn't taking no chance. I had to go to make sure that she was okay. No.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I know for me, for my birth, you weren't there at the time.
Yeah.
I think mommy told me.
No, I wasn't. The Sunday. The day when you were born, I wasn't at the hospital. I came the day after when they told me you were born because I was still working at trial at the time. And because you were premature, you were basically maybe 2.5 pounds or
yeah, it was
so.
2.5 pounds. Yeah.
So
yeah.
they didn't even think you would survive. Your mother had gotten that C-section. So I had to ask for the time, change my work schedule so I could actually come to the hospital in the mornings and the evening because I was the one who actually had to bottle feed you at the time, change you and everything. But what's so funny about that, you were born the 16th, and they were thinking, boy, you wouldn't be able to leave the hospital anytime soon. But we basically got you within 2 weeks. And then the thing that's funny, most of the kids that were in the, what do you call it, the, what do you call that ward
Ward?
again? No, it's not so much an ICU, but I don't remember the room for the premature babies were in that room. So most of those kids actually died for they had a diarrhea outbreak. But we were lucky we got you before.
Yeah, I've heard that story, but I didn't know what. Like, I know I heard that part that most of the kids die, but I didn't really know what.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I thank God that I'm here, and sorry for those kids that didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I think we're facing the same situation back home as well, because I heard that there are a couple of babies that died in the hospital.
yeah, but
Like, I think it was last week.
yeah, but don't follow the news back home so much now. But
Yeah, I
it's
saw
not
it.
like it's a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
Different administration or anything, but there comes like sometimes it's periodical. It maybe not happen every year, but there are periods when you have those outbreaks, and a lot of kids will not survive, as well as some adults. But
Yeah. Yeah. So David, I come in the picture now, and I know that like it put a lot more like burden, I think, because
Yeah,
like
it is.
that's a lot of amount to feed.
yeah, it was not so much burden, but you have to be thinking instead of feeding just three persons, you have to be thinking of a fourth person.
Yeah.
So when it was just you would get everything.
Yeah.
But now Davida is in the picture, things have to be split.
Yep.
Man.
I can talk about that because I know when when it got to like when she was like what 3 years old. Oh Lord, mommy said to me like, here now, Davida is gonna go to kindergarten at the time, and she was like, all right, things have to split. So all my apple J juices, all my little snacks have to split. But me, to my remembrance, it never split equally. It never split equally. David, I get most of the stuff. I never really felt that. The only thing I felt that way about was my Apple J, because I love Apple J. But my little sister, and yeah, but yeah, when she came in the picture, yeah, a lot of things started to change now. Yeah, she started get like more attention and all those stuff. I never really feel anyway, because at the end of the day, as I said, I was the only child.
Yeah.
But I know he was like happy to like have a girl as well too.
Yeah, man. Believe me, I would take her to the school, basic school.
Yeah.
The infant school was
Infant
like
school.
what? Maybe about a mile or so.
Yeah, so it's like an hour walk.
Yeah, I
or
would
more.
take her on my neck to school in the mornings. Then I go back for her
Yeah.
in the afternoon. When she started basic school, it was the same procedure for me. Yeah, but I would get up in the morning, breakfast is prepared, take you guys to school, especially her, because you were actually going to taking a drive to school then, but she went to school in the community, so I had to take her to school on my neck.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. with me, I just walk. So I used to walk. When I used to walk we used to walk like from my house to the entrance of Conwell Courts, which is probably like, I would say 25, 30 minutes or less.
Less than that.
Less than that.
Because the taxis were so sparse at the time, we had to go all the way down the road to actually get you a taxi.
Yeah, because the further you are from a taxi, the less chances you have to get one. But yeah, I remember that. Like, sometimes I used to walk with my head down. I used to grab my neck and be like, hold up your head, pops. Yeah, I remember those times. Like, I mean, we get old and all those stuff now, and we watch you, like, still being a father. We went through struggles. We did as a family, because I remember one time we never have any light.
Yeah.
We never have any electricity.
And it was difficult for baby. And we didn't went to bed the night.
Yeah, without food.
But the electricity, maybe it went away, but before the day was finished, it came back on.
No, I'm talking about the time where I was in high school at the time. I was doing CXCs, and remember, we never have light for a while. Especially in that time, we never have electricity for a while. I don't know how long it was. I don't think it passed a month, but we never have electricity for a while. I had to go to like Sandy Bay to get my SBAs done.
Was it electricity we didn't have, or was it the printer and stuff that we
No,
didn't
man,
have?
electricity we didn't have. Yeah, electricity we didn't have. I remember that. I remember that. I don't know things. That's where I really experienced like hard life
Yeah.
at that moment, because I can say that I was what as people would call it, a fortunate kid.
Yeah.
You know, because mommy always make sure say, me good. Be good. I remember this guy calling me bossy boy when I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I always, yeah, because I always have like, the latest
name
stuff,
brand,
name brand,
yeah,
yeah,
the latest stuff.
you know,
That kid growing up, yeah.
yeah. But I never really, I love name brand, but it's not a thing that I wouldn't say I was spoiled. I'm the only child at the time. My parents took care of me. But yeah, growing past that now, we are Davida. Yeah, growing past that now, you start to get older now, and you see what's growing like right in front of your eyes. Like, what start going through your mind? Because I know when people tend to get older, watch your kids reach at least adulthood, what really start going through your mind at that time?
You know, you guys have never given me any reason to worry about anything. You know, because you guys have been straight. So seeing you guys grow up into the man and woman that you are now, I feel proud
You hear that,
to say
Davida?
I've actually done something good. I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about you because both of you, your heads are screwed on
Yeah,
properly.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't have to
yeah.
worry about you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Even though David says sometimes you feel like my head guy. Yeah. But like I know like with you, like pertaining to me. All right, you played football. You love that.
Yep.
I tried to play football because of you. I couldn't last 15 minutes on the field because I swear out as because I had short of breath. But I know music, the love for music from you now, as I said, like go back to that now, it really came to me because I started writing, I started singing, all those stuff. I remember I used to DJ right at the cemetery, all that. So I know you actually, I can say that you feel pleased with that because I think you probably know almost every other song, every one of the songs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. I always support that, especially Mummy. I remember one time, I don't remember what song was playing, and somebody on our street was singing the song. And Mummy say, "Come here. Where you hear that song there from?" And she was like, "Tio in the play." She said, "Don't make nobody else hear it because it's no copyright." And all honesty, I didn't think Mummy do have copyright. I didn't think Mummy do have copyright me at the time.
But you know the word.
She did. In all honesty, I didn't think Mummy was in love with my music. Even not saying I did bad music, but at the time I know Mummy. I mean, she's still a Christian, but at that time I knew she was like really strict with when it comes to that. Like I remember I couldn't even watch Spider-Man at one point. I couldn't even watch Spider-Man. Yeah, she was really strict, But like with you, as some people would say the cool parent, I mean, I had both parents were cool. Because we sit and we talk. I didn't have to hide anything from you
Yeah.
guys. So I would say both parents were cool. I would just say like mommy was strict on that end. She was really strict on that end. I remember one time I disrespected mommy. You didn't really beat me or anything like that. I mean, too much. Like I probably get.
Maybe that was the only time you have ever been spanked.
Yeah. But that wasn't spank. So I remember I disrespected mommy and you got so angry. Then you give me one slap. I woke up 3 hours after. I woke up. I never ever did that again. Like even talking about spanking, like you got spanking when you were young, right?
Yeah, man, that was a regular occurrence. Not so much for me, but back then the simplest thing you did,
Yeah.
you got spanked for it. But I've always been afraid of being spanked, so the times that I've been spanked, I can count them.
Yeah.
But what's so funny about that, Mama would wait until you're asleep most of the time. And then she would spank you. And we didn't have inside shower or anything like that. So after she has spanked you, she's gonna send you to the standpipe, facing the gully.
Yeah. That's
to
the one in
shower,
Sandy Bay?
yeah, and then come back. So no matter how cold the nights were,
Yeah.
because anything under 65 to us Jamaicans back home is cold. So no matter how cold that night is, you're gonna shower
Yeah.
and then come back.
And they come back.
So I was too afraid of that. So I tried my best not to get spanked.
So who give the most trouble?
Oh, basically it was Anthony most of the time, and Tony and Marcia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like, yeah, I think she talk about that. I think she talk about that. Or you probably tell me. But yeah, like back in those, yeah, like what was one of your most memorable moments in like, childhood? Or even like, teens?
Ooh, there's been so many. But I think when we moved to Sandy Bay, I can still recall, it felt good to be in a different environment. Because being in Mosquito Cove, it was like more rural than Sandy Bay. So you could actually see more persons and there was more to do in Sandy Bay than being in Mosquito Cove, because we didn't have a football field or anything like that. Because I started playing football very early because my neighbors, they played a lot of football in high school and played basically semi-professional. So, when I got to Sandy Bay, that felt real good for me.
Got you. So I guess I hear these names in Hanover, Grange, Mosquito Cove, Pint, Davis. Was it Davis Cove? Like where are those names like really come from? Like
At most, one of the things sometimes is named after persons who own those properties.
So who named Mosquito?
No, Mosquito Cove. Mosquito Cove. Why it's called Mosquito Cove? Based on my recollection, there were a lot of. It's a cove, one of the better coves in Jamaica. It's like a natural harbor.
All right, forgive my ignorance, but what is a cove? Like
It's basically like an inlet. So the sea, you know where it is. So it's like a cove, like this. So it's a sheltered area. So it's away from the main ocean.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
got
it's
you,
like
I got
an
you.
inlet.
I got you. I never I hear those names, but I never really understand the meaning behind it. Yeah, we're going to know. All right. A memorable moment for me when we bought the first car, Grace. Like, how that feel to you though? Because I know like you have finally have a car, and
But it was another surreal moment to the first car. To know, I could actually go somewhere, didn't have to worry about a taxi or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was a real surreal. I still remember the price I paid for that car, how much we sold it for, and all of that. I still have picture of that car.
Yeah. All right, funny story. So you don't know this. So, so you remember that time when you started to teach me to drive? Like you teach me how to change a tire, change the battery. When you teach me to drive, remember Grace used to face up the hill, right? On our street.
I remember when you take car.
Yeah, so you remember when you were telling me to drive. You don't remember what happened up the hill. That's the thing. So so when I turned right to go up the hill, I almost licked down two people. I almost went to Miss Bev's backyard. That's why you never know. I almost licked down the two people. I went down into Miss Bev's backyard because remember Miss Bev had I almost did that. But you couldn't see from down the hill. You couldn't see it. So that's why when I came around the other side of the road now, and you were like telling me to come down, I was so scared because me almost licked down two people, and I'm there. I remember those moments. So I remember when I got my learners now, and we drove to church. Like I really drove to church. You were so scared. I remember you tell me to stop at the stoplight was all the way out there, so you tell me to stop from right here, even when the stoplight was that red. But I know you like seeing me like driving you all over this place now, like you hear me.
Believe me, I can sit back and relax when you drive now. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. And one time you never see it, but you see it now. When you first come to our place in San Diego, you were like, you can't believe like I'm driving you all over this place now. You're like, you never really dream of seeing that,
Yep. Because I had no thought I'll move into America. Nope. I never intended to move here. Even growing up and working at the hotel in Trial, when they were asking, "Oh, you're not going to America? You're not going to the embassy?" I said, "No, I'm comfortable."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I never thought of moving here. Because life back home wasn't that
Yeah,
complicated.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
You
true.
know, so we weren't struggling back then either. So I didn't think of just to visit,
Yeah.
which was I was forced to do so at the time. Because Davida's godmother was one who actually said to me, "You're not going to the embassy." I said, "Nope. I already went there once and they turned us down. I ain't going back. I ain't wasting no money."
I remember the first time you went here. I think I went back with you the second time. I remember, yeah, we passed. I remember how I remember is because we passed this place Tivoli. I passed Tivoli and I saw people like taking showers right on the road, and I was like, what? And these people weren't like insane, or homeless or whatever, But yeah, that's what I remember. Like I remember we went to the embassy. I remember you got it. And I remember with us, like with David and I, when we went to the embassy and the lady, there was black lady, there was like three black ladies and this white, not white, I think she was Asian. Asian Jamaican. Well, Jamaican, let's just say that, but she was an Asian. And when she came in, everybody just kind of like got tense because they were like, yeah, she doesn't really give out visas. Yeah, I don't remember this Rasta man going before us. And the lady said, yo, what's your occupation? And he was like, eh? What's your occupation? He was like, Jamaican, Jamaican, Jamaican. She was like, no, I didn't ask your nationality. What kind of work do you do? He was like, oh, shopkeeper. And I saw her shake her head. And she asked him one more question. And she was like, who is filing for you? He said his daughter. And she looked up in the system and by her reaction, it seemed like the daughter ran off and she just denied the visa and she gave it back to him. And he said, so when may I get the new visa?
As I remember that day clearly.
Yeah.
For one, your uncle took us into Kingston.
Yeah.
We almost
crashed.
Yeah, we almost had an
crashed, 'cause
accident.
like, yeah.
But somehow I was in the front of the car.
Yeah.
But I did not feel scared or panicked. Somehow I just knew we were gonna be okay.
Yeah, mommy was pissed. Mommy, Junior.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I just said, gave God thanks we did not crash or anything. But because you were gonna turn 18 that very year.
Yeah, that very year. So
you were very much scared going to the embassy. Oh, they're gonna ask me all sort of questions. What am I gonna answer?
Yeah.
So it's like you were preparing for those questions and all of that. But when we got there, they didn't ask you one question.
One question. They just asked you like three, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember I was so scared. The lady was like, put down your index finger right here. I did like this and put on my thumb. And I remember her saying, you're so cute. Right there. And I was blushing, because, you reach 18, almost reach 18, you feel like a man. Nice lady. I remember that. But yeah, those moments, I really appreciate those moments. I remember when we went fishing, I think it was Hopewell. And we stood out in the water. Now we started fishing. And then we were like, was it like 10, 15 minutes, didn't catch anything. And then the two of us start pull and we was like, yo, we catch something. And you were like, you catch something? We catch something too. And we start pull and pull. Our two lines
Crossed.
Sir. That I always tell people that story. Like I mean, you've took me on a couple fishing. We did that like even with our cousins. You taught us how to get the worm, the earthworm and all those stuff. I don't know what else you use.
Soldier crab.
Yeah. Because I remember Orange used to. Orange used to pick up all of the soldier crab them and him used to get over sometime. Yeah. But I mean, those are some of my memorable moments. So what was I gonna ask you? I lost it. But let me just say this. Yeah, let me just say this. You're an exceptional dad.
Thank you.
And I love you.
Love you too, son.
And Thank you for, you know, always, supporting, always being there. I mean, you call me every day. I can, I can count on that. I mean, you call me every day just to check up. I can tell like what time frame you're gonna call. Normally between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
I just be like, just a check up. Probably ask me how's my day or whatever. We probably talk about,
Yeah.
Arsenal
Arsenal,
or
yep,
sometimes,
always.
or sometimes, they piss us off, but yeah, they're really playing good now, number one spot. And you tell me you love me, and I've spoken about this on the podcast already that you call me every day just to tell me that it doesn't matter, you know. I can tell you what I'm going through. Same thing with mommy, I talk about that. But I can speak for myself and David that you've been a tremendous dad and you still keep on doing. And you've always been there, whether physically, emotionally, the whole of the alley. And whatever we ask for, as I said, you never, ever tell us no. Mommy's the same. You never tell us no. You've always provided for what we need, not we want. You always make sure we are the most important stuff.
Yeah.
School, all those stuff, you have always been there. And just want to tell you thanks.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah. I'm glad for share this moment with you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah. We can team up.
Big up to Davida who's behind the camera.
Shy girl.
Who did not. But yeah, I mean, I can speak as a man. Yeah, I'm happy to have him in my life because I know a lot of kids, especially boys, don't have a father figure.
Yeah, man. I have no regrets about what I did for you guys, and if the table was turned again for me to do it, I would still do it the same.
Yeah.
Maybe even better now that I'm more mature and I've seen all the fruits of my labor being manifested the way it has. Yeah, it will give me more impetus to do even more now.
Yeah. But we have to go do a part 2. Because at that time,
David, I was gonna be involved in it.
I need to be at it. Yeah, but people, yeah, this is the end of the episode. I don't know what I'm gonna name this episode. Dad and me, or I don't know. But yeah, people, stay tuned for the next. As I always say, you know what I always say at the end, Daddy?
I don't think I remember.
All right, cool. As always, people, stay safe and go for it.
No flow.
Yeah, enough love.